Hello, everybody, and welcome to BIO110, Essentials of Anatomy and Physiology. I will be your instructor this semester. My name is Dr. Gruwell. I just wanted to take a few minutes to help you get oriented to your course and kind of walk you through D2L and where you should get started for this semester. So no surprise here, the first place you should start is the Start Here module. So in this section, we'll start with our course information. So you see our textbook. There's a link to the bookstore. If you have not yet gotten the textbook, you definitely need to get the textbook for this class. We use a lot of embedded textbook material within the class, including a lot of the graded assignments are linked to your textbook. So 100%, this is a class that you will need and use the textbook. It will not be a waste. You can see my information here. You can see the course expectations and policies. This is set by the college itself. So these are not my personal expectations and policies, but these are expectations and policies that all of us at the college agreed upon for this specific course. Same thing with our course syllabus. This has our college provided syllabus. You'll see the Respondus testing policy. So for those of you who have not used Respondus before, basically it is a lockdown browser and monitoring so that we can ensure academic integrity for our online exams. So for my online asynchronous section, that is going to be used quite often for assignments, including our tests. For our in-person class, it'll be less relevant, but I will still have you go ahead and use the lockdown browser, or at least set it up. That way, if we need to use it for whatever reason, then we have it available. And you'll see that there is a little assignment related to setting that up, as well as an assignment to acknowledge our course policies. So I would like you guys to do that by the first Sunday, which is September 1st. Okay, the next thing of interest is our course schedule. So here I will upload a document that has our course layout. For online asynchronous, it'll show that everything is more or less due on the Sunday of that week. So whatever we have for that week will all be laid out for you, and you will have until Sunday to complete that. For my in-person people, you'll see your lab dates on there, but you'll also see dates concerning assignments within D2L in terms of keeping on track for due dates. We have our student support resources. So this has some tutorials from the college. Learning with Technology is just a basic intro to all the tech that you have at your disposal here at Deltech and within D2L. A specific document and info regarding D2L itself. And this has just some other student resources that you might find of interest while you are working towards your classes this semester. All right, McGraw-Hill Connect. So this is the integrated textbook feature. So McGraw-Hill Connect is what we will do a lot of our assignments through. So this is partly why you need the book. I highly recommend looking at all of these tutorials in here. Like I said, you're going to be using this quite frequently. So understanding how to use it properly and efficiently is going to help you in the long run. So please take the time to look at all the different tutorials located under this module. One thing that may be of interest for you, and you'll see it in one of the modules tutorials here, is the Read Anywhere app. So you can download an app that will allow you to access your textbook, whether it's on your phone or via a tablet. So that may be of interest to some of you. You'll see down here we have what's called the Smart Book overview. So Smart Book is some comprehension questions that are integrated into assignments. So it'll be related to some of your assigned reading. And on the Smart Book, not only do you answer a question and get feedback on right and wrong, but it will also have you put in your confidence level with a question. So I really encourage you, one, make sure you actually do your reading before you go in and answer your questions. You're not going to do well if you decide to just kind of go for the questions and skip the reading, and you're not going to get much out of it. Two, please try to be as honest as you can with your confidence level. It's called the Smart Book because it learns your tendencies and your strengths and weaknesses. So if you're honest with the confidence level intervals on your questions, then the book will better learn your strengths and weaknesses. If you say you're really confident on a question you really have no clue about, then the book's going to assume that that's something that you know well, and you're not going to see that. So be honest with yourself. The Smart Book's there to help you. The other thing that is going to be a major factor is our virtual labs. So McGraw-Hill has integrated a bunch of labs for each chapter. And so rather than just watching a video or doing a little click-through activity, you're going to have an interactive lab throughout the semester that happens virtually. My in-person class will have a few labs that are not related to McGraw-Hill Connect, but for my online asynchronous, all of your labs will take place through this virtual lab feature. So please watch that as well. Okay, you guys will see less than me. As you can see, I have a lot of the units hidden. So don't be alarmed when you see just a small amount of information to start with. That way you only see what you need to see and concern yourself with initially. So make sure you go through the Start Here tab. But to show you kind of what to expect week to week, we're going to start with Unit 1. So this very first week, we're going to focus on Chapter 1. That way there's not a crazy amount of information, and we can work out all the kinks with any of the online text features or any problems we may have. So you'll see each chapter is organized very similarly. You have your textbook links. So this won't have every single section in the textbook, so feel free to look at readings outside of these assigned ones. But these here are the ones that you 100% need to look at and go through. You'll also see a PowerPoint, which is our slides themselves. And accompanying that, you will see a voice lecture. So for my online asynchronous, this voice lecture accompanies the slides. It's me speaking over top of these slides so that you guys are able to hear what is most relevant and expand on what's just written on the slides. For my in-person section, you guys will also have access to these recorded lectures, and I will make these visible after we do our in-person lecture. So in this case, lectures are on Thursdays. So after we have our lecture this upcoming Thursday, you will then be able to see the recorded lecture as a way to go back and review or listen again if you choose to. Next is our graded assignments. So for Chapter 1, we have a quiz through this McGraw-Hill Connect, and we also have Chapter 1 in the Smart Book. So these are your 2 graded assignments. Finally, we have optional practice activities. This has some links to YouTube videos and other resources to just help reinforce some of the concepts we talked about. It also has some learning activities that are interactive. Some of these are in the book itself through McGraw-Hill Connect. The only graded activities are in graded assignments. So these are all activities that you are encouraged to do for extra practice, but they will not affect your grade. Just as a heads up, in the grade book, you may see headings for some of those practice activities. Just because it's in the grade book doesn't mean it's calculated into the final grade. It's just how we have to set it up so that all of our links are functional. So don't panic and think that you need to do the optional practice activities, or if you struggle with an optional practice activity, that it'll negatively affect your grade. So currently I have all the other chapters within the unit hidden. So as we get to it week by week, like I said, the schedule will give you more of a kind of look into the future of what's coming. But in terms of what you can see on D2L and Access, I'm going to try to open that weekly so that no one tries to skip real far ahead and we can stay focused on what we need to focus on. Just a couple other things to mention. So one thing that I want to mention is our optional final exam. So this class consists of 6 units, meaning we have 6 unit exams. So each unit exam is on the unit itself. They are not cumulative. They don't build on one another. We work one unit at a time. So the only cumulative assessment is our optional final exam. And so you can guess by the name, this is not required. It is optional. But I recommend taking it because it can replace your lowest exam and there's no way for it to hurt you. So for example, if on exam 3, you really struggled, you just kind of kept switching your answer to the wrong answer even though you knew it, and you got a 70%. So that's your lowest grade of the year, your 70%. But then at the end of the year, you decided to take your optional final, you studied, you were confident, you didn't second guess yourself, and you got a 90% on the final exam. That 90% on your final now replaces that low 70% that was on your Unit 3 exam. So now rather than a 70% on Unit 3, you have a 90%. Now, let's say you didn't have much time to study for your final because you had so many other classes and this wasn't the priority, and you got a 50% on the final. Well, no big deal. That just kind of washes away. It doesn't replace any of your exams. There's no penalty, and you keep your grade of a 70% for Unit 3. We'll talk more about this when it comes towards the end of class, but if you have any questions regarding the optional final, please let me know. I like to highlight this early on, partly because if you struggle initially, or if the very first exam doesn't go your way, don't panic, because one bad exam grade more or less can just disappear if you really work hard and prepare yourself for that final exam. So that is a majority of what you need to see thus far. One of the big things I want you to watch out for, and I'm going to go to the homepage here, is our announcements. So you'll see your welcome announcement initially, and you may see already or will see soon an announcement regarding week 1. But this is the easiest way to stay updated on class things. I may not post something every single day, but very frequently announcements will be made to keep you updated on what is due that week, what you need to watch out for, and any updates in the class. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or visit me during office hours or talk to me in class. I look forward to a great semester with you all, and have a great rest of your weekend.